You need more than love to have a happy marriage. There's more to love in a marriage. There's more to love in a long-lasting marriage. These are the conversations I will tell my daughters to have before saying I do, before getting married, to have a stronger foundation. These conversations are crucial because they will help you guys to understand each other's values, needs, and your expectation for married life. If you're new here and you're enjoying the video so far, please like and why not subscribe. Don't forget to activate the notification bell to not miss more tips on how to navigate marriage. Marriage is a huge commitment. It's a very big commitment. So although, yes, love is essential and love is beautiful, etc. So having a clear communication before starting your life together and before engaging yourself to someone else, it's equally important, if not even more important than the marriage itself, because you need to know where you're going before deciding to link yourself to someone. A lot of us jump into marriage without really knowing what marriage is really like. I do believe that we should all go to a school about marriage before getting married, believing that that's something higher than yourselves. Putting God in the center and relying on Him. For some, it might be the universe, it might be whatever your religion or your spiritual belief is, right? You need to know where your partner stands with his. If one practices and the other doesn't, is it a deal breaker? Is it something that could become a tension later on? It's really to talk about that, because this later on will bring other issue, because once you have kids, are they going to be baptized, not baptized? The second thing for me is life goals, right? It's important to dive deep into what are your aspirations individually, career-wise. You as a wife, do you want to do you want to continue working after you have kids? Do you actually even want kids? What is the type of lifestyle do you want? What are your personal aspirations, right? The hobbies, everything. The most important thing here is to really see where your partner stands and be willing to support them in whatever their ambitions, whether career ambition, lifestyle is, and see if both of you can come together. One may want to live in the countryside, the other in a big city. You have to find a compromise. Finances. It's to really be honest about where you stand right now. Do you have debts like student loans, credit card loans? Because once you both come together, it becomes your debts, right? And discuss also about how are you going to manage your finances? Are you going to have a joint account, separate account? How are you going to handle, savings, house bills, investment? Or if you have a joint account, then everything is paid on that same account, because both of you would certainly be working. So who's doing what in the house? You just need to discuss how both of you stand. Because if you have a man that have been raised in a highly patriarchal family, you see a lot in Africa where men are not allowed to go in the kitchen. They're not allowed to cook, clean, do anything, wash their clothes. Everything is done for them. And if you come from a family where your dad was helping your mom and doing everything, and your partner to be does not do any of that, you have to talk together how you're going to handle that. You need to discuss that, because then that's where a lot of resentment come. And so you can avoid all of that by talking very early, before even planning that marriage, because you cannot change anybody, right? That's something that's very important to know, because a lot of people think he will change, I will change him, or I will change her. You cannot change anybody but yourself. So your partner has to be willing to. And maybe you are a woman who doesn't cook, right? Because this stereotype. There's a lot of women that hate cooking. My daughter doesn't like cooking. And so it's not something that's natural to her. She doesn't enjoy cooking. And she's hoping to marry a chef or somebody who's a great cook, so she doesn't have to do it. These are the These are the conversations that you need to have. The biggest decision usually it's children. So do you want children? That often can be a deal breaker for many, because some women do not want to have children at all. And there's men also that don't want to have children. And let's say for maybe a man that have been married before and already have children and doesn't want any more children, but then he goes with a younger woman and still want to have kids. There's a decision to be had there, because if one wants kid, one doesn't want. Tension, that's actually a big one. So make sure that you approach that discussion way before you decide to tie the knot. And even if both of you want children, what type of discipline do you want to give your kid? What type of school do you want your kid to go to? What culture, your tradition do you want to give your kid? How do you want to educate your kids, right? These are the things that you have to agree with at the beginning. I was talking about religion because it's the most obvious one that comes in my head right now. One want to raise the kid Christian and go to church and blah blah, and the other one is like, nah, that's not for me. Often family relationships plays a huge role in marriage. We know the stories with the mother-in-law, and this is universal. I was going to bring Africa in it, nothing to do with Africa. Also, Africa mother-in-law can be very interesting. However, there's often a tension between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. When you have a better relationship than that, you are blessed. When you're entering, your mother-in-law takes you as their daughter or as their son, good on you, you are blessed. Say thank you. But often it's not the case. So it's things to take into account. That was just one sidetrack. I just got sidetracked there. That's not really what I wanted to say here. It's very important to know how close your partner is with his family. When you understand your partner family dynamic, that can save you a lot of trouble and challenges along the way, right? If you're coming in a tight family where they like to see each other every Sunday or every Christmas, every such and such, right? And you will have also your own traditions. You will have to split that somewhere in the middle, right? And are you comfortable of having very regular interaction with your in-laws if that's what your partner is used to? Or are you okay for them to go time to time by themselves, you not being there? It's important to discuss all of that and to really see how your partner is with his family, okay? And understand if this is a family that you will be comfortable coming in. A family can destroy a marriage. I'm talking about the extended family can destroy a marriage. If you haven't discussed all of that together, if you guys don't make a point to stand together as one, as a unity against family member that may coming to throw rocks at the relationship, you have to make sure that you can stand for your relationship on the front of your families. So family, it's an important topic when it comes to marriage, because you know how family can be. The girl is never good enough. The guy is not rich enough. This stereotype. Discussing previous relationships is very important. Mainly if you have children with a previous relationship where you need to continue having a relation with your ex. It's very important to address it. It's very important to talk about the dynamic between you and your ex. I understand that the past is the past, but it's important to talk about it too. Because often we come with trauma, with baggage from an old relationship, and talking about it may help each of you to understand where the other one is coming from. It's important to understand how this relationship will impact and will be part of your a marriage. Talking about your childhood and your upbringing is very important, because the way we've been raised shape the adult that we are today. And sharing everything that happened in your while you were growing up, good and bad, can help your partner understand you. Talking about your parent marriage or relationship, right? And how their marriage or relationship affected the way you see relationship today. We often mimic what our parents did, and that's what we bring in the relationship. What has happened in in your childhood, your upbringing, your education, your parent marriage, all of that will play a role into your marriage today. Therapy and mental health is something that we don't address at all. My daughter was saying that she will ask her future husband to go to therapy separately and together before getting married. That it's important to address before getting married the trauma that they're coming in with before coming in the marriage, so they can come as whole and not coming both as broken pieces and trying to complete each other, right? We all come with baggage. We all come damaged one way or another. We can have had the most loving parent, whether at school, being bullied, whether in our past relationships. We come with damage. So addressing them and seeing a therapist before. I understand that therapy can be costly for a lot of people, can't afford it, but at least doing some self-searching, some mind work, working on whatever trauma that we have can help us at least coming with that and saying, that's what I'm dealing with. I'm working on it. When you understand yourself better, right? Because we said you have to live, and the trois, you have to love yourself before loving someone else. Learn to appreciate who we are. Learn to know ourselves deeply before coming into a marriage. Take the time to do that work. Today, there's so many self-help books, okay? YouTube University is definitely a place where you can also find all this information. To do some work on yourself to make sure that when you come together, you've tackled a lot of these trauma. Retirement goals. Oh, it's raining. I need to go quickly. So retirement goals, right? How do you envision retirement for you? How do you want your retirement to look like? So you at least know what's your vision in life in 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. Even if they change with time, at least you have already an idea of where your partner is at. And the last one, and I think is one of the most important, is the non-negotiable, is the deal breakers. It's nah, this will not pass, right? What are those for you? What are the values, the boundaries that you need to communicate clearly to your partner before deciding to have a life together? For some is, if you cheat on me, that's it, we're done, it's divorce.